Yeah, Packers are feeling probably eliminated from playoffs at this point. Looks like Penix is out long term. Drake London
Falcons
is also out.
You said Packers. Welcome back, faithful football listeners, to Flag on the Play with Billy and the Duke. I am the Duke, and with me as always is my partner in crime, Wilhelm. Say hello to the people, Billy.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. The Duke cannot see me right now, but it's pretty dark on my screen currently. Which is pretty much how I feel about this football season, the football journey. We will get into that obviously today.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about our own teams this week. So if you are interested in anything other than the Bengals and the Chiefs, go ahead and continue listening anyway. But first, hey, Billy, coming back from a weekender to Chicago, where Bears fans must have been happy, but you were leaving on Sunday, so you wouldn't have seen that. How was it, dude? What was the Windy City like?
It was all right, I guess. Yeah, so luckily, because we were leaving pretty early on Sunday morning, Chicago played in Minnesota, so that kind of helped out with some traffic there in the morning, even though we left pretty early. I was afraid of tailgaters. I imagine that whole city's on edge right now because of how good their team's doing. But overall, didn't really see much of the city at all, which was kind of surprising to me. I saw a small fraction of it. I ate and drank at the same bar 3 nights in a row, so much that the second night, not the bartender, but the waitress that we had, she had recognized us immediately, looked at me and said, "Michelob Ultra?" And I was like, "Absolutely, thank you very much. Appreciate that." So then it got weird the third time we went in, third night in a row, where she also recognized us. Was like, "Oh, hey, you guys, what the fuck is going on?" Like, you guys are back. Other than that, a lot of walking, super tired, still kind of covering from that. But if I had to choose between both Chicago and New York City, I'm choosing New York City every day, mainly because everything but one bar in Chicago closed at like 10 p.m., at least where we were, and that kind of sucked. So when you're doing stuff late and you want to just go get some good food at a decent time, it's nice to have a restaurant open a little later than 10 o'clock.
Was the bar good in Chicago?
It wasn't bad. It was like a sports bar kind of thing. The advertisement was 72 flat screens is what they called it, term that we used in the early 2000s. But 72 flat screens throughout, and they weren't lying. There were fucking TVs everywhere. So the good thing is it's
better than it being named 72 Virgins, dude. That would have been scary.
That's true. It'd be a little weird. But we got to watch part of the Thursday night game, Thursday night when we were there, so that was nice. And then volleyball on Friday. And then Saturday night was really terrible college football. Because it was like 11 o'clock at night, so it's leftover games to be played. How was your weekend?
It was, we are hosting my wife's family for Thanksgiving. As many of you may know, except maybe our international listeners, that is an American holiday where we celebrate the Pilgrims and the Indians. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go down that whole thing. So we're hosting Thanksgiving at our house, and Kayla wanted to adjust the way that everything is set up, as women do when they decide that they're going to host an event. And so I had to acquire a storage unit and then move select pieces of furniture into said storage unit over the weekend. So I did that Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. I have no idea what happened Sunday. It was a blur. Besides watching football. Excuse me, but
Yeah,
that was kind of the story of the whole weekend was Jesus. Just getting furniture out of the house and getting ready for this massive undertaking of hosting a holiday, which, I mean, it's not that many people. I think it's like only like 13, 14 people if you include Kayla and I and children, but the level to which she likes to hold us accountable for hosting things, like, it's got to be like 5 stars. Like every time we do like a hosting thing, it's like an absolute mad rush to get a bunch of shit done.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I am sometimes. I like the house. I'm the crazy lady on the commercials, or I guess not maybe it was commercials. I don't fucking remember. But I'm the crazy lady, the crazy mom that's going around and making sure this house doesn't look like anybody has ever lived there a day in their life. Going insane, including the kids' rooms that like I know nobody's going to go into. I vacuum, I scrub, I clean. If there's a speck on the toilet, I'm like, nope. People are going to think we take shits in this toilet. I mean, I go pretty nuts when we've got some people coming over for absolutely no fucking reason whatsoever.
I think the thing is that like I am a person who likes to maintain, so like I like things clean all the time. So I'm like, let's not let this like lapse. It shouldn't be that much of an undertaking because we should be taking care of these like maintenance things all the time. But it's just like so over the top, and it's like a big cram. Excuse me, I apologize. It's a big cram to do everything like last minute, so that's kind of where we're at. And currently we are not doing anything, right? And so I imagine that trend will continue. I will continue to do like a little things day by day, and then Kayla will put her list off until Wednesday of next week, and then we will be up till 3 a.m, getting all that situated.
Gotcha. Well, before we get started with any of the typical talks, I've got a question for you. So,
sure.
We are from the Maryland area, and you are from this area all your life, correct?
Correct.
And was it just when you were growing up, did you go, I refuse to be a Maryland sports fan? Is that like your motto? Because I know you're a Celtics fan. You're a Cincy fan, the Bengals for football, and then now I'm seeing you wearing a Kraken sweatshirt. So tell me a little bit about why not the Caps and what's going on there. Out of all Maryland teams, like obviously you would never choose Baltimore because you are a Cincy fan. I would choose Baltimore if I was going with a Maryland team. But out of all the teams that are in this area that like you can hate, the Caps aren't one of them in my opinion. Like I enjoy the Caps, so it's the Kraken. Explain, please.
Yeah, so I actually am a Caps fan, believe it or not. What I am also is a degenerate for
cool logos,
team gear, basically. So if you go through I'm a Syracuse fan. If you go through my closet right now, you're going to find Kansas State stuff. You're going to find Purdue, Iowa State, Iowa Cyclones. I try to stay away from the big hitters, to be honest. Like I stay away from like Ohio State, Michigan, like very divided fan bases. Yeah. I try to stay away from those things. So this is actually, I am a Caps fan. I do have a Kraken hoodie. This is the only piece of Kraken gear that I own. I also own a Vegas Golden Knights baseball tee. So I support league expansions. I get happy when they add new teams and it kind of like mixes everything up. I get excited about expansion drafts and such. So I always support the expansion teams by buying one piece of gear that I like from them. when before they play it. So I bought the Golden Knights thing for like their like pre-sales. It was before they had drafted a team, before they had actually played a game. Same thing with this Kraken thing. So I would not support them, or I don't support them after they are like an established team in the league. But when they are like when they were announced and they first came out with their gear before they had ever played a game, I bought the gear just to support the league expanding. So
yeah, to be fair too, they came out also again with sick color scheme, sick like logo, like they did it right. And then I'm kind of along the same lines of you as far as like in a sense. So there are many times where I've thought about buying jerseys of other football teams simply because I enjoyed either the player on the team just as a whole or because they came from like Oklahoma, right? So we produced some pretty big names like Adrian Peterson, the legend himself, Sam Bradford, so like
yeah, dude, the legend.
I've thought about getting jerseys of like players like that, especially like AP. Like with AP, I love purple, but like I'm not a fucking Vikings fan. So it's like the best of both worlds. I get to support my player that I enjoyed watching in college and the NFL and get a purple jersey out of it. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I'm just more along the lines of there are teams that I will not buy things from. Like I said, Ohio State, Michigan, like those bigger like college, like controversial teams, also like any rivals of my team. So I'm an Atlanta Braves fan.
Sure.
I won't buy any Washington Nationals gear, although the Washington Nationals do have some cool ass gear. So I actually have a tendency of picking teams that always release like the shittiest gear of all time. And I love I love the Caps. I have 50 Caps hoodies in my closet right now, t-shirts, hoodies, regular sweatshirts, just one jersey. So like I tried not to keep the jersey thing because they're so damn expensive, dude. All gear is so expensive, but I have a billion Caps things, right? They don't have a lot of like cool and interesting, like they have, like I have some of their Winter Classic stuff. I do enjoy the Screaming Eagle, and some of their retro stuff, but like they're just kind of bland overall. And that's kind of the theme with like all of the teams that I like the Celtics. You can only do so much with like the Kelly Green thing. I mean, they have like some good stuff, but it's mostly like very plain Jane, very classic. The Braves have some cool stuff, like hat wise, but not very much like elsewhere from that. It's just one of those things where it's like there are teams out there that have like really cool gear, and I don't want to like hold myself back from being able to get like a cool ass logo or like a cool piece of gear just because I'm a fan of another team. So I personally don't do that and just let people judge how they will.
Go ahead and start because I did have a question for you.
All right, hold
based
on.
Off of some of the stuff you were saying. Go ahead.
Real quick. And I just want to 3, 2, 1. And we're back, folks. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties and crying babies. So we are back after a little intermittent spat, picking up where we left off. Billy, so you had a question?
Yeah, so when you were talking about like getting jerseys and stuff for like expansion teams and whatnot, you're a big proponent of that. What is your thoughts on an expansion for the NFL?
I like the idea of an expansion for the NFL, actually. Here's the problem. I don't like an international expansion team. I don't like the thought of that. And I think that if they were to add a team, they would add it to London, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be a pain in the ass. I would be all for like a team in... I think Alabama's pretty set on college. Like a Mississippi team. I don't know. There's nowhere good in Mississippi. I'd be all for a team. I just would want it to be stateside and make sense. I don't know. I don't think a London team makes sense, to be honest.
Oklahoma would be sick. They're also big on college football too, but then like the first major league team was the basketball team. And I think there's room for bringing in a professional football team, but I think about it often. What was our last expansion team? Was that the Texans? Like early 2000s, right?
Yeah, might have
With
been
the Texans being the last one coming in.
I think they were like 98 or something, right? It wasn't in the
Baltimore was 96. I'm trying to think. I thought it was the Texans. I don't know why 2002 just sticks out to me.
Last NFL expansion year. 2002 Houston Texans.
Damn.
So yeah, you're
Damn. On it. Yeah, I don't know why that was sticking out to me, but like I was, my brain was pretty much fully developed at that point, and I remember it. But I do not remember before that how it was with 31 teams. And I wonder with the expansion of the playoffs right now, I don't know if that was just like, hey, this was a long time coming, or if that does leave room for more teams to join the NFL. I don't know if it's worth it. Like, how many basketball teams are there?
30.
How many?
30.
30? Yes, NFL is one of the larger sports, I guess, as far as like major league. I wonder. I don't think there's that many major league soccer teams either.
That's not a big sport like stateside though. So,
right. Baseball.
I have no idea how many baseball teams there are. 30.
Oh. Okay. So we're right at the edge of that number already. It would be interesting. And then I think it would also leave room to have more talks about like that 18th game.
I lied. I lied, but there is 30 MLS teams.
Oh. Yeah, so 30, 30, 32.
30, 30, 30, 32.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Let's go for NHL because the NHL is 32 teams.
Okay, so NHL is same. Okay. So probably at that number. I think it'd be interesting. We're at the point where there are teams that are just perennially, I can't say the fucking word. Perennially, just awful. You got teams like the Jets, the Browns. Like, you get a good quarter of the NFL that's just not good the entire year, and it leaves, and it is cyclical too. We're seeing the Patriots kind of coming back on top now and stuff like that, but there's definitely like, I think, room to have other competition. And
here's my thing.
The only downside to it is the Texans were never really good. They've had good moments, but they have never been really good since they even came in. The only team really to come in that was good was the Ravens. As of late.
Well, the Ravens were, the Baltimore Colts. Baltimore was used to having that was a city that a team had been in. Listen, I will say this. I don't think New York needs 3 teams. I don't think Florida needs 3 teams. I don't think Texas, do they just have 2 teams?
They have 2. Yeah.
That's probably fine. LA certainly doesn't need 2 teams. I think that's ridiculous. They're just trying to be New York City.
It's a massive city, and they do share a stadium at least, so it cuts the already ridiculous taxes that the citizens out in
for
LA
now.
are paying.
I thought the Chargers were getting their own stadium.
I don't think I've ever heard that. That would be news to me, but I'm sure it's possible. I thought the whole point was to share. It's the same as the Giants and Jets share a stadium. They're 2 different conferences. So are the Rams and Chargers. It's probably how it has to be. And to be fair, those 2 teams, they're called New York. They're in fucking New Jersey. Shithole part of town.
Yeah, so I think you could take a team out of Florida. I don't think you could take a team out of New York, but I definitely think you could take a team out of Florida. The Packers you could not take away.
Too much history.
Yeah, Packers you couldn't. Neither of the Ohio teams. Detroit.
Yeah, you got 2 in Ohio. Yeah. Same. That one's a weird one because they're not only the same conference, they're the same fucking division.
Yeah.
Wow. Kansas City and St. Louis used to share a state until St. Louis moved to LA. Those were two different conferences as well. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd be open to hearing a team. Like I said, I'd love an Oklahoma team, but I mean, I'm rooted in Kansas City, so it's like it doesn't affect me, but it could affect somebody wanting to come in and just like start fresh. Of course, I'm sure Jags fans thought that too, and they just haven't done shit since their inception. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I think that one of the teams from Florida could move, and I don't really even think that it matters all that much which one it is. I think Tampa Bay is the only one that's like should be safe, but as far as like Miami and Jacksonville, I think you could move either of those teams. You would argue history with Miami, so move Jacksonville, but if they move
too new.
If they move the Dolphins out, who gives a fuck?
Also, if they move Jacksonville, good chance it does go international. It goes to London, you know?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'd like to see a hold on, I want to talk about this for a minute. I'd like to see a Salt Lake City team. I think Utah generally produces like pretty good teams. As far as it's a good, like. Go ahead.
They're the owner of the hockey and basketball team, the same person in Utah, correct? And it's like a younger guy.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Young-ish. I've seen it. I feel like I've seen him on Pat McAfee show a lot.
That could be true. I don't regularly watch the whole show. Yeah, and I think Salt Lake is an advantageous spot that's like in between coasts. I don't know. I think you could see like a.
Yeah, it's this guy Ryan Smith. Yeah, he owns that. Ryan Smith owns the Jazz and the Utah Mammoth. Mm-hmm. That's expansion, no? Is that a new team?
So that was purchased from Phoenix. So that was the Phoenix Coyotes turned Arizona Coyotes turned Utah Hockey Club turned Utah Mammoth. He also used to own Real Salt Lake of MLS. I'm not sure what's going on there anymore. Somebody else bought it in 2022, it looks like, or something like that. But yeah, anyways, that'd be interesting. This guy, 47 years old, and he's just a fucking billionaire businessman just sitting on teams. He needs a football team. There could be a Kentucky team. There could be an Iowa team. I don't know. I'd like to see some of these like lesser known
Midwest.
Like there's a lot of Midwest / center like flyover states that you could really put a team in and probably boost their economy. I mean, they're not going to do that, but I like to see it happen. I think that the opportunity to move a team there would be great. I think Virginia should have a team, honestly.
They're very catered towards the Washington kind of side. I mean, that's where they practice and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they should probably be their team, or they should get a team. I don't know. I like the idea of Virginia having their own sports team. Creates a good rivalry, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Anyhow, I guess we'll move on from that, but I would like to see some teams move. I'd like to see a move around. I think it'd be hard to make a case to move any of the teams looking at the actual shit that you have going on. I think you could probably move the Titans again. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, maybe they have some diehards. I don't know, but they just seem like a temporary home type of team anyway. I don't know. Anyhow, shit. I don't even remember where we were.
Well, let's get into some football. For starters, I do want to go ahead and knock out my little college bit because, surprise, surprise, Oklahoma took down Alabama 23-21. I don't know if we have enough to carry us far. Defense looked great. Defense did a lot. I got to catch some of the game, not a lot, as while I was eating my deep dish pizza at Giordano's there in Chicago. Mateer, only 138 yards. Rushing, our highest guy, has 34 yards.
Did you say Gary
It can be
Bertier?
rough. John Mateer.
Gary Bertier, got it.
Gary Bertier.
From Remember Titans, dude. Come on.
But I love it. I think 7 of the last 8 meetings, we have beat Alabama. We have their number. Currently, which it is Tuesday, normally the rankings update. Currently, Oklahoma is still sitting at 11. Alabama is still sitting at 4. So I think college, this is Tuesday. So as of tomorrow, or if you're watching this, it'll be yesterday. I think that's when they go through and kind of redo playoffs, where it's currently at, and the seeding and shit like that. But with Oklahoma going to 8-2 and a big win over a top 4 team, it gives them a chance, certainly at playoffs. So that's very exciting, because obviously once we get there, NFL was not exciting. But, we beat Tennessee, a top-ranked team. Ole Miss didn't help losing that game. We beat Alabama. We've got Missouri and LSU, 2 schools that we should win. So there's 99% chance, unless something crazy happens, we make playoffs, and then it'd be interesting to see what we do from there. But from not making it last year and just barely being bowl eligible, which isn't normal for Oklahoma to begin with, to now getting back, it is exciting to see. And it's always a good day when anybody, especially though Oklahoma, beats Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, and once again, I think we talked about this a million times. The ranking system doesn't make any sense, but there are a ton of ranked teams like just losing to unranked teams or lesser ranked teams in general. I mean, you have, Virginia losing to Wake Forest, an unranked team. That was last week. This week you have, there was one I was just looking at that I can't even find right now. Oh, I think I got USC Iowa confused, but anyhow, I mean, a lot of these games are, it seems like they don't have this whole thing ironed out. Louisville lost to Clemson. So Louisville ranked 20th, lost to Clemson. So it seems like at least one time a week. I don't know if it's the parity in college football or what, but it seems like there's a ranked team losing to an unranked team, or a highly ranked team losing to a much lesser ranked team at least once every week.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how the playoffs shake out, because it seems like it's just all like a bunch of dudes who just have opinions and just get a vote. Which I don't think. I think they need to come up with some. I understand it's harder with it not being as condensed as the NFL, but maybe they need to come up with some sort of like tiered system, and then make it more like the NFL. Like have the like CFB championship, and make it kind of like a Premier League type deal, and then have like relegation leagues for lesser teams, and you compete in order to be in the top ranked team, and then maybe in like your lower relegated leagues you have like other conference, or you have other bowl games, right? You make the bowl games like championships for like other tiers of the college football league, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is interesting too, kind of how they, I do wonder how they do the rankings to begin with. I mean, you look at a school like A&M, Texas A&M, they're ranked number 3, but they struggled against South Carolina. And I know the big story with this one was they had a massive comeback, like actually, never mind, I don't even want to say it, but they had like a fourth quarter comeback and scored, I think most of their points came in the fourth quarter. No, it's third quarter. 21 in the third quarter, and then another 7 in the fourth quarter, and they finished with 31. So the 3 in the first, 0 in the second. Like, if a team's struggling like that against an unranked 3-7 school, how are they ranked third? You know what I mean? Like, when a team like Oklahoma loses to Texas, who is now, as of the filming of this, are ranked 10th. They figured out some shit. This weekend they got their asses handed to them by Georgia. But there's some other there's good competition.
I think I think when you get towards the top, it's harder to kind of talk about it. But let's put this in like a lower tier comparison. Like I was saying, Louisville lost to Clemson this week. They are ranked 20th. They were ranked 20th last week, and they lost to California. So they lost to Cal last week in overtime. Ouch. They neither gained or lost ratings, so they were still ranked 20th, and then they lose to Clemson again this week, right? So, I mean, I guess we have to wait for the new rankings to come out, but so how do you make that make sense when, like, for example, who was it? Was it Texas Tech was ranked like 15th and they won? Oh, I see. This is why I wish that the internet was better, and I wish I had a better example of this right now. But there will be teams that like are ranked, like middle of the AP top 25. They'll win one game. And it's not even like a particularly good game, but they'll win a game and they'll be boosted to like. They'll go from 15th to 8th. But meanwhile, like you have a team that's like fringe bottom, like Louisville, and they can lose to two unranked opponents, and they have not lost any positioning in the top 25.
Yeah, I mean, you got a team like Louisville like that, and then you had I'm just looking at a random game here. Army had a game against Navy. Army's ranked, which is fucking insane, if you ask me. But Navy beat the fuck out of them, 31-13. So Navy also won. Listen to this stat. Navy scored 31 points. Their quarterback was 4 for 9 for 107 yards, but he scored 2 touchdowns on that. It's very clear how they won this game because their running back was Jonathan Taylor Jr. here, with 24 carries, 196 yards, and 2 touchdowns himself. 52 of those 4 passes, 52 yards of the 107 yards were from one reception from their top receiver. That shit's kind of wild, but yeah, I don't like the college ranking. All of it pisses me off. I've been, I guess, fortunate to be born in Oklahoma and choose the Sooners, who have typically done well over the years, and then even when this playoff system was introduced, they kind of benefited from it. They benefited from, in the past, when it was just the top 4 schools, and they were able to kind of make it, half of the years there, depending on what schools were kind of running the game. Like, USC days, I don't think they were too high up, but and then even when the playoff shit started, there was like hopes, but then like we just kind of went to shit. But I don't understand the rankings.
I'm looking at the new rankings, and it looks like Louisville has dropped out of the top 25, which is good after sustaining 2 losses. But just as this example, Alabama, after losing to Oklahoma, loses 6 spots and goes down to 10th. Oklahoma gains 3, goes up to 8. So I don't really get how that happened. Because
very interesting.
Here's the other thing.
Where's Texas currently?
Texas is, holy shit, where am I at? If this is to be, Texas would be 17th, so they would have dropped 7.
Ouch.
And Georgia is 4th, so they gained 1 spot by beating Texas. But if I was looking at what I was looking at correctly, I believe on. Okay, so BYU played TCU and won. So BYU plays TCU, plays an unranked opponent, wins, and they gain a position by virtue of Alabama.
No
No.
record.
by virtue of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, because Texas lost 7 spots. Okay, so that I don't necessarily understand, but I understand. I don't know, dude. This is all so fucked. I'm trying to get it, and maybe I was never meant to.
No.
I don't see how Tennessee's 23rd either. Like, what are we talking about?
SEC, that's the only thing I could think of. SEC.
I will say Texas is the highest ranked team with 3 losses. The only other ranked teams with 3 losses are Tennessee at 20 and Missouri at 23.
Oh, Missouri's not ranked.
They're 23rd. They're ranked 23. Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of fuck college, but not fuck college. Get Oklahoma in and see if they can make a weird run at this. It'd be interesting. Give us like that dream kind of setup, like, you know, March Madness kind of gives us a school that probably shouldn't make it somehow makes it to the championship. That'd be kind of sick. Because as we're going to get to, I don't think I'm going to be watching an NFL Super Bowl this year, but
why not?
Well, my team sucks, but we'll get there in a second. Any notable games you want to kind of talk about? I'm just going through the list here. Thursday night, Patriots beat the Jets as they should. I got to watch a little bit of that game at the bar, as I was talking about earlier. Dolphins Commanders Sunday morning. Any thoughts on that one? Oh, if you got something on the Patriots Jets.
I don't. I was just going to say, I don't really want to talk about, I want to glaze over a lot of this and just talk about the interesting points that I have, or the points that I find interesting when we get to them. Once again, I think we talked about this last week. My only thing I will say about the Commanders Dolphins game, I don't have anything to say about the Jets Patriots game. That happened. That the Jets put up more of a fight than I think anybody expected them to put up, and then they lost the game late as they
Tyrod Taylor now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Tyrod Taylor is now the starter for the Jets. Just as an FYI, that decision was made, I think, either today or yesterday. So Justin Fields no longer the starter there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaron Glenn's probably, if they stick with him, I will be happy for the Jets, because I think that they are far too volatile in their front office. Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get fired, because some of his decision making is questionable on the field.
Agree with that as well.
Yeah. So, but Commanders
learn
Dolphins,
from the best.
Commanders Dolphins is the Commanders came out and tried to win this game, and I think that was a mistake. I think they should have been trying to lose. The Dolphins, however, also should have been trying to lose. They also made a mistake. They need to secure a pick where they can draft the quarterback of the future, because it's not Tua. And they can only do it via the draft, because they're in such a fucked position contract-wise. So I don't think they're going to be able to sign anybody at that position. So, yeah, I think that they need to be losing games so that they can raise their draft capital. I think they have the potential to be a much better team next year without Tua.
If they get a quarterback.
I'm assuming Mike McDaniel is going to get fired at the end of the year. I know that he's made it this far, but I think maybe the Dolphins as an organization just made the decision before the year that it will be like an entire year. Like, they'll give him the whole season and then make a decision one way or the other. So I'm assuming at this point, because he hasn't been fired after some of these mishaps, that he will lose his job after the season.
Agreed. Packers aren't good, right? Is that the conclusion we're coming to? Because they almost lost to Jameis Winston. Any ideas what's going on in this team?
The Packers are such an interesting case, I think, because I think the Packers are the team. Oh, sorry, I hit my mic with my shoulder. The Packers are this year's team that has the potential to be kind of an upper tier team, but they play down to their lesser opponents. I think that that's where they're at. I think they're the team that plays to their opponent's perceived skill level, and they get themselves in these close games. That being said, I also just think that Jordan Love might not be the guy who he looked like he was for like a season and a half. Like I personally thought that he would be better than he is. He just doesn't seem as good as I initially thought he was, now that I'm seeing him play a lot more. And I think that they once again have an issue with the way that they run their offense by having no true number one receiver. I think is tough.
Yeah.
I think it allows defenses to kind of just play, like a base man or base zone. They don't have to key in on anybody. I think it gives them a real advantage. Defense. I think defenses against the Packers have an advantage in the passing game because they don't have anybody exceptionally talented at receiver that they need to key in on. I think Josh Jacobs is a dog. Obviously, I think that the running game's the backbone of the offense, but I think you saw this in like the Eddie Lacy, his good year, like the year before he got fat or whatever. Like I think they were kind of that Packers team to me, if you remember that at all. Like they were a good team, they were a dangerous team. Like everybody was kind of like, whoa, they could beat anybody at any time. I think that's kind of what the Packers are right now. Is they're a little bit dangerous. They have the ability to beat anybody at any time, especially with Micah Parsons anchoring the D now. Like I think that they look pretty decent and they can hold people pretty well. But I think overall synopsis, they play to their opponent's skill level. And they remind me a lot of that, like Eddie Lacy, his good year Packers team, where next year they could be a terrible team, or if they get their shit together, they could be a good team. It's all gonna, I think, hinge on if Jordan Love improves or is stagnant over this offseason. I think that they're going to be a playoff. I mean, I think it's obvious they're going to be a playoff team. I don't think that they make a genuine run in the playoffs, though. I think when they play like a good team in crunch time, they're probably bound to lose that game. So I think they're headed for a first round exit by my estimation at the moment.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I'm calling them a shit team, and they've got a better record than the Chiefs. But it's kind of similar to the Chiefs. It's like they were expected to be good, but I agree with the sentiment that Jordan Love just isn't playing as well as his potential. Where on the flip side, I think Mahomes is, in a sense, this last game not so much, but I think Mahomes is still kind of a I don't want to say front runner, but he's definitely like top 5 to 8 of like MVP talks currently, and we'll see how the rest of the season shakes up. But it is interesting. I mean, they lose the yard advantage in this game too. They're out yardage, 336 total to 296 total. Like the defense is going to have to carry them as far as they can actually go. But I mean, it did play Jameis Winston, who for the first time in however long had first team reps. So I think it's going to get interesting.
300 yards is not going to under 300 yards of offense is not going to beat the better teams in the league.
I agree.
Yeah, that's not going to beat Denver, New England, Indianapolis, Buffalo. You're not beating those. You're not
Lions in their own division. The Bears possibly.
They're a half game ahead of the Lions right now. Lions currently playoff picture wise on the outside looking in at 6-4, and the Packers have the half game at 6-3-1. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Just a wild fucking year of football. Nothing is making sense this year, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to feel about it. Again, we'll get kind of there. Yeah, let's move on. I mean, Packers should have won this game. They did win, but they did struggle, and look to see how they bounce back. I say bounce back because this is a game they should have easily handled without a bunch of starters on the Giants.
Who's their next opponent? Do we know? Let me look at it real quick. They play the Vikings next. That's going to be a big game for them.
Yeah.
Vikings, Lions, Bears. They run the gauntlet of their division the next 3 weeks. So. I mean, that's pretty much going to be their season in a nutshell. If they come out of it 2-1, they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be in kind of prime position. If they come out of it 1-2 or 0-3, I'm sorry, if they come out of it 2-1 or 3-0, if they come out of it 1-2 or 0-3, then I think they're really behind the 8 ball. I think they're going to be struggling for the last wild card spot, and they're probably not going to make the playoffs. So I think that's really what they're looking at. The season is in the next 3 weeks, basically. They still have the They have the Bears twice, Vikings twice for the rest of the season, and they also play the Broncos and the Ravens. So they have no gimme games. And they got 3 grinders back to back to back. So that they have a gauntlet to run through.
That's a tough schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. So just want to point that out for the Packers. If they don't get their shit together, like you said, they're going to need to bounce back next week. If they can't figure that out, then they're in real danger of missing the playoffs after such a hot start to the season.
Agreed. Packers fans are feeling like Chiefs fans right now. Just like, what the fuck am I watching here? And it shows.
Micah's feeling like he's on the Cowboys again.
Micah's probably like, damn, I should have just stayed in Jerry World. Texans beat Titans. I don't think there's anything to talk about there. Also with that Packers game too, real quick. We were talking about Josh Jacobs. He did get a knee injury, but I guess he's hopeful for this week. So it's no major damage there. So that'll be interesting to see. Texans. Yeah. Football's kind of been boring too. 16-13. What are we doing here? Like 16-13 also in the Commanders Dolphins. Like, I don't know. There's some weird games. Anyways, Panthers beat Falcons. Big note there. Michael Penix is out. Bijan has a good game.
It's CJ Stroud is gone as well. He's back to injured, right? So I think that's kind of like notable from the Texans game. He left that game.
I know he had a concussion. Did he actually play? It all Davis Mills?
No, I believe CJ.
No.
So no,
just Davis Mills.
It's just Davis Mills. Okay, I thought CJ started that game.
Okay, so maybe he's back next week. Davis Mills, plays a decent game. So okay, that's not bad. I understand why they only scored 16 points now. They don't have a run game. And I mean, Nico Collins 9 for 92 and a touchdown.
They have a lot of young wide receivers who are stepping up too. I think that when they can get settled in, if CJ plays up to his potential, and Woody Marks
they might make a run,
develops. I think that they will make the playoffs. I do not think they'll make a run, not this year.
Okay. I mean, a run to make the playoffs. Yeah.
I just think that they're, I think that they could, make a wild card spot. They're not going to beat the Colts in their division, right? They could beat out the Jaguars for second place in a wild card spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Packers are feeling probably eliminated from playoffs at this point. Looks like Penix is out long term. Drake London
Falcons
is also out.
You said Packers. You meant Falcons.
Did I thought I said Falcons. I literally feel like I said Falcons.
I promise you said
Jamie,
Packers.
pull up the tape. Falcons, sorry. Michael Penix out. Drake London is week to week. So it's going to be the Kirko Chain show there. I think they're done. I just don't think Kirk Cousins is there anymore. He doesn't look... I'll be interested to see how, again, I heard this. I'm pretty sure most of the stuff I hear kind of is on Pat McAfee's show or some of these other dumbass football shows. If you're not the starter, you don't get a lot of first team reps. You're playing scout team kind of thing. You don't really get to learn your players. So maybe a couple weeks, the Falcons start looking better, but at 3-7, maybe it's time to just, be one of those teams that go, I'm fighting for a pick right now. And that's what I really should be focused on. But
yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons need to just kind of try to get some, it's kind of like a cliche thing to say, especially considering it's still, I think a lot of people would say it's still quote unquote early in the season. There's a lot of season left to play, but I think that they need to figure out who they are and what they're going to do. Right. So a lot of people just assume that they run everything through Bijan, but I think that, they've need to find the balance in their offense and where they're at. They have a chance to use the rest of this season to test some things out, get some lessons learned, keep some guys healthy, get them recovering, get them some reps, and come back and make a better run at their division next season. So I think that's what their overall goal should be. Now, if you're a Falcons fan, like, you want to scrap for everything, right? But I just don't think that Kirk's going to get you there. I don't think that they have a lot of faith in Kirk either. You don't want to, overutilize Bijan and put yourself in a situation where you're risking injury on his part. You don't want to rush, Drake London back if he's potentially injured. You have this young core of players that you really have an opportunity to be a really good offensive team, and your defense, you maybe need to work on some spots there. But I think that you improve that in the offseason. You come back next year, you make a genuine run at it. I did think that they would be a good team this year. I think that they were right on par with my expectations while everyone was healthy. I think that they caught the injury bug, and sometimes you just need to wave the white flag and not put yourself at more risk for the future.
Yeah, make actual business decisions here, not fuck everything up.
Correct.
I agree with the defensive side of things too, because again, while I don't think he's going to be great, but I thought he started looking better. Bryce Young had a hell of a game in this game. I mean, he started 1 of 45, 448, and 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, me, notorious Bryce Young hater. But he seems to be very up and down, though. You know what I mean? Like, at least from my perspective, it seems like he can have this game, and the next game he can go for 58 passing yards, 70 rushing yards. Just not perform. But they did what they needed to do to win this game, and they relied on their passing game, which was impressive to me personally. Like, I thought that they would have to lean on their rush game the whole season. They did not have a great rushing game in this particular game. Only going for 68, 67 yards total rushing, something like that.
Crazy.
Tet McMillan, dude, he's a dog. Protect him at all costs. I don't know if they're trying to win the division right now. I don't think anybody's catching the Bucks, and I don't think that really any of the other teams are good enough to make the playoffs. So I don't think you're beating out like other divisions, like second place teams, to make the playoffs. So I think if you're anybody but the Bucks in the NFC South, I think you should just be basically doing the entire what I just said for the Falcons. I mean, the Saints are an absolute disaster story. They need an entire rebuild. Don't need to talk about them at all.
Maybe they should be fucking relocated somewhere else. They're just not good.
But as far as the Panthers, I think the Panthers are kind of in the same boat as the Falcons. And I think that this is strategically a bad move to win games. I think that they should be hunting draft picks right now.
Yeah.
Even if you somehow squeak into the last playoff spot, you're going to get annihilated. Like, save your fan base the agony. You've shown them the hope now. Now shut it all down. Keep everybody healthy and try to come back as a better team next year. This division could turn out, outside of the Saints, who are an absolute disaster, like we said, this division could turn out being one of the more competitive, higher tier divisions, in the next 2 or 3 years.
I do want to point out too, real quick, with the Panthers. Panthers are
6-5
tied. They're tied with the Bucks. Bucks are 6-4 right now.
The Panthers are 6-5, right?
Yeah.
So the Bucks the Panthers haven't had their bye week. Is that what we're
correct? So they're up there. So we talk about catching the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are on a downward spiral right now. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
like, they're still putting up points, but their defense is looking
the Panthers they've beat the Falcons twice, Dolphins, Jets. They beat the Packers, which we already kind of talked about how they're kind of a phony team right now. And they beat the Cowboys, right? So I don't think they're not world beaters by any means.
I mean, the saving grace for the Bucks, you got Panthers going against 49ers. I don't, even with Brock Purdy back, I'm not sure about the Niners themselves. They could pull that one out. The Rams, they probably lose that, right? But they win against the Saints.
I think also the important thing here is they still play the Bucks twice.
Right. So then they play the Bucks twice. They also have to play the Seahawks. So chances are they win one of their next 7 games. But
they also play the Saints again, and they lost to the Saints earlier in the season.
Well, and that's the one I would think they would probably win. I don't think Bryce Young played. Oh no, he did. Terrible game, but he played.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Is that was probably one of those like 100 total yard games that you see from him. So, like it's just happens.
It'll get interesting. But yeah, I do agree though. The Bucs are probably going to at some point start to run away with that division, and then hopefully sort their shit out and turn their shit around. Moving on. Bears beat Vikings. Do we think the Bears are for real?
I think. I mean, the answer.
They're 7-3 right now.
So yes and no.
Leading their division.
I don't have. I just don't think that they can win meaningful games. However, this is a game that they won in clutch time. They do have, some semblance of a running game. They have star wideouts, a very good defense.
They haven't beat.
Caleb Williams is playing well.
Yeah, they haven't beat a team over 500 this year.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The problem they have. So I know that you're going to say you're going to be on kind of like the Chiefs did this kind of thing, but let's just keep in mind that the Bears are not the Chiefs. The games that they have won this year have been very close games. Like I think maybe all of the games aside from the Cowboys one have been one score. And I know that they've been in several like literal 1-point victories. They had one score against the Bengals, right? Who came back at the very end of the game. Like they were gifted that win. And then gifted it. They gifted that win to the Bengals, and then the Bengals gifted it right back to them. So that was a very losable game. They barely squeaked by the Giants. They're barely winning this game against the Vikings. They beat the Commanders by 1 point or a field goal or something. They barely beat the Raiders. I don't know. I just don't have a lot of.
Yeah, I don't think they are, but I'm sure it gives the city of Chicago some hope because they lost. They lose through the Tyler Huntley just signed off practice squad led Ravens 30-16. Like they got demolished in that game by a guy who'd only been there for a few weeks. Now, of course, he's familiar with that offense. He knows how it runs. He knows what he's supposed to do. I don't know why they let him go to begin with, but they do that. They barely beat the Vikings, who are still struggling to do anything right now.
One thing that I think that
it'll be interesting. They have a tough schedule coming up as well.
See, this is where I was going to say, I was kind of on the other side of that coin. I think that they have one of the more like one of the easier schedules coming up.
Well, Pittsburgh, we'll get there, but they're down to Mason Rudolph as a quarterback now. So sure, they could probably win that. That seems pretty easy.
I think the Eagles
and the Lions are probably their tougher competition.
Yeah, the Eagles, so I think they have like 2 tough games. I think the 2 Packers games are division games. Division games are always weird, but like the Browns game, if you think about it, should be a win, right? The 49ers game it depends on what 49ers team shows up, I guess, but it seems like the better 49ers team showed up. But you should be, if you're the Bears, you should be, if you look at these games, you should say win, loss, win/loss, win/loss. I think they have 2 50-50 games, 2 definite losses and 2 definite wins. So I think that they're definitely going to win Steelers and Browns. I think that they're definitely going to lose Eagles and Lions. And then I think that the Packers and 49ers games are like up in the air, 50-50. So whatever happens in those games, I think that's going to be the tail of the season for them. That's my own prediction going in.
That's fair.
I mean, honestly, I hope that they lose most of these games because I would just much rather see the Lions in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I agree with that.
I'd rather just watch the Lions play football than the Bears. Sorry, Bears
100%.
fans.
Chargers get absolutely crushed by the Jaguars. Justin Herbert throws for less than 100 yards. I don't know what's going on with this team, but they're doing what the Chargers do best, and that's start off hot and then get extremely cold towards the end of the season.
The good thing for the Chargers is they're going into their bye week. They have time to reset. I don't know what this game was, honestly. I don't know if this was like a game where the Travis Etienne and the Jags defense stepped up really hard, or if this is a game where the Jaguars just blew all four tires and were running on flats. I didn't watch this game, so I just didn't see it. I do see that Justin Herbert was 10 for 18 for 81 yards, one interception. Trevor Lawrence was 14 for 22 for 153 yards, a touchdown and interception. So this 35 points had to come six defensive touchdowns or special teams touchdowns, because 14 for 22, 153, that doesn't say anything about
4 rushing touchdowns.
All right. So Tootin, I see, has 1. So what did they get the ball at the 1 yard line 54 times? Like, what do we?
Well, he had 74 yards. Etienne had 73 yards. LaQuint Allen Jr., whoever that is, has 36 yards, and Trevor Lawrence had 9. So that was a closer one. But they've got almost 200 yards of rushing here and 4 total touchdowns out of that.
Yeah, you're not going to win very many games giving up 200 yards of rushing and 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns on the ground. Yeah, you're 0% chance of winning that game. But once again, did the Chargers defense just blow all 4 tires? Because they only put up 6 points, so their offense wasn't working out for them too well either. And I see that they didn't put up a whole ton of yards either. And it looks like when Trey Lance came in, he only added 37 yards to the total. So
I forgot he was even in the NFL anymore. Yeah, it's a rough game. Their top rusher is also Justin Herbert.
I think that this really just shows that as the season goes on, fatigue does play a factor, right?
100%.
Injuries do play a factor, because we're talking between the Chargers and the Packers, we're talking about week 4 of the season. You would have said these two teams are probably going to be in the Super Bowl together, the way that they were playing. And now they've both put themselves in spots where they're fighting for wild card status in the playoff picture. So that's just,
Love to see what the Chargers. Hate that the Jags are winning also, because at the end of the season, it could be a tiebreaker for us to even get in. So we'll see what happens there. They're going to need that rest for sure. Moving on. So we talked about Tampa a little bit. I don't know. Baker didn't have a great game. He had 173 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They had pretty good rushing out of Sean Tucker with 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. The problem they went up against is Josh Allen had 6 fucking touchdowns.
Yeah, just
3 in the air and 3 on the ground.
A record-setting game. This happens, right? It's not common, but it happens to you. And when it does happen, you just got to shake it off. I think if you're the Bucs, you got to look at this as this had to happen to somebody. It sucks that it happened to us. We need to just put our shoulders back, keep our head up, and keep going down the road. We've been playing good football. We didn't play bad football. We just ran up against a performance that was greater than the product that we had to put out there on the field. So, you look at it. What's
also crazy is
we may not have been playing our best, but we can play better. And we didn't lose this game by a ton, right? 12 points, didn't lose it by a ton.
Yeah, what's crazy too is Josh Allen threw 2 picks in this game, but they didn't sack him once. Let me see here. Penalties. Buffalo was penalized more. Both teams lost a fumble, and both teams threw at least 1 pick. Josh Allen throwing 2. It's fairly even across the board. Tampa Bay outrushes Tampa Bay 202 rushing versus 97. I think it's just bad luck.
Bad
play.
Ibuka pedestrian game. He was pretty much shut down. 5 for 40 is shut down for Emeka Ibuka. They don't have Godwin or Evans, right? There's Sean Tucker. They don't have no Bucky Irving. I mean, this is just a case where they need to get healthy, and they'll be just fine. Just worry about getting healthy. I mean, you still put up 32 points, so nothing to hang your head about.
Get that defense right too. I mean, Bucks have been really known for their defense, and Baker's kind of given them life. Bringing a quarterback in, they get Ibuka. They have two other solid ass receivers. K. Dotton didn't do shit either in this game. Thanks, K. Dotton. My fantasy team suffered because I can't start Brock Bowers because his quarterback is dog shit. Even though he performed better, but yeah, I think Buccaneers can go into a bye, turn it around, and see what happens. I want to skip over to the next game. We'll talk about it towards the end here. So the next game we're going to 49ers beat Cardinals. Cardinals are just a shell of a man right now. I don't think there's much to talk about. Brock Purdy does return though. Throws 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey had another good game.
The Cardinals might be the best 3-6 team in the league right now. 3-7 team. Whatever.
They could be. Yeah. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, 57 fucking passes. 452 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, what are we?
But they have no run game whatsoever to take any heat off of him at all. And then, is Harrison still a guy? Is he? He's not their top.
He's injured.
He is injured. Okay. So Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, 185. I don't even know who Michael Wilson is. Let's look him up. 25 years. Got to be a young boy.
15 receptions, dude. That's the thing you should be looking at. 15 receptions is crazy.
That's fucking insane. Yeah, I mean, total yards, 488 to 281. What happened? They lost a fumble and he threw 2 interceptions. It really did come down to turnovers in this game. They cleaned that up. Like, you clean those couple things up, they win this game against the, golden child himself, Brock Purdy, led football team here. It's that division can get fucking weird here at the end too. I think Rams and Seahawks are the clear leaders of that, but you never know what could happen. There is a lot of football left. So
Christian McCaffrey, comeback game, by the way, he was shut down last week, and then this week he has
rough last week. 3
touchdowns, 120 all-purpose yards.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
Hey, 49ers Christian. Still rolling though, 7-4. Your favorite team in the league. Favorite coach, if I remember correctly.
Imagine being Kyle Shanahan and giving up 450 yards to 15th year Jacoby Brissett. What a pitiful showing.
Seattle Rams, not much to say about this other than Sam Darnold. You can't throw 4 picks and hope to win the game. Surprising it was only a 21-19 score.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at this as if you're a Seattle fan, you say we'll take that, right? Like, it's a 1-score game and Sam Darnold threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be throwing 44 times either. I don't know what that's about.
No, Kenneth Walker still rushed 16 times, 67 yards. What the fuck was their time of possession here? They had the ball for 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes versus 22. They had more total yards, almost over double the passing, pretty even on rush it. You just can't. I mean, it's the name of the game. Don't turn the ball over. You win the game. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where you don't turn the ball over. You got a shot to win the fucking game.
Hey, listen, the Rams do the Rams thing. They come in, they do exactly what they need to do to win, take care of business, get out of town. I mean, I gotta see, you gotta think that the Rams are the favorite in the NFC right now, right?
I agree. I love what they're doing. I think Stafford looks like a young buck again. I mean, he's up there in the MVP talks for sure right now. And the running game looks good. They have some of the best receivers in the fucking league.
Defense can get 4 interceptions.
Solid defense. Yeah. A defense that can get 4 fucking interceptions.
Jared
I like it. I think as of right now, season ends today. They're my clear favorites on the NFC side for sure.
And, some people might be saying, what about the Eagles? We'll talk about them in a little bit. So
they're absolute fucking frauds, if you ask me.
Stay tuned. All right. Anyhow.
Yep. Next game we'll talk about is Ravens-Browns. Ravens should win this. They struggle a bit, 23-16, but it is a division game. I don't really count that. The sad part is, though, Dylan Gabriel's their leading passer, 7 of 10 for 68 yards. But I think the bigger news out of this game that we want to talk about is Shredder Sanders gets in and has what some say, I think, is the performance of a lifetime.
Some people are saying that.
Yeah, 4 for 16, 47 yards and a touchdown, just lights out. I mean, he's obviously the quarterback of the future.
Yeah, maybe if you consider an interception a touchdown. What are you fucking talking about, dude?
Yeah, obviously sarcasm here. Shredder looks terrible, and it's clear that, again, it comes down, though. I don't want to pass on too much.
It's the
first game, no first team reps.
Yeah, dude.
I'd be interested to see if they name him starter for this weekend, what happens.
I'd like to see it. What's the risk?
Yeah, no risk. And they're playing the Raiders. What a time to go ahead and see what you got.
Honestly.
You're not playing for anything meaningful. You're 2-8. Put in Shredder and see what you got.
Stop calling him Shredder.
Shredder Sanders, dude. Yeah, let's get into those Eagles though, because there's nothing. Unless you got something about this game, I got nothing more to say. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of football because I was stuck on a plane. But
I would like to propose,
and then pissed off.
I would like to propose a trade to the Browns. We will give you back Joe Flacco for your entire defense. Because the Browns defense is so fucking good, dude.
They really are.
They had 2 interceptions. Myles Garrett absolutely terrorized Lamar Jackson, and they just get their offense. Their offense couldn't literally. They do get paid to gain yards, and they can't do it. I was going to say couldn't gain a yard if you paid them to, but those things are true in this case. They should trade their entire defense for. I would give up the next 65 years of number 1 picks for the Browns defense.
That defense. Yeah. Myles Garrett, congrats to you, bud. I'm glad you got that paycheck to go 2-8 already on the year. Probably could have finished fucking 2-15. Congrats. Quick stat too, I meant to bring up during the Rams thing real quick. Matthew Stafford. With that win over Seattle, a game-winning kick to go 21-19 is now 116, 115, and 1 on his career. That's fucking insane. If you think about Matthew Stafford, obviously he suffered some and the on the Lions, it was during some of their worst years. I mean, I guess they've never really had good years, but he suffered there. But the fact that he's barely a game above 500. I guess if you count the tie, he's a game and a half.
I mean, you also have to think
that's kind of fucking insane.
It's insane.
Think about.
It's insane. Like, I think it's insanely good. If you
he's
think
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, he's a Super Bowl champion. He's above 500. He was also on the 0-16 Lions team.
Was he?
Yes.
I thought that was Orlovsky. Was it him?
I'm pretty sure.
Or did he get hurt and Orlovsky come in? There's no way Orlovsky actually started it all, right?
Hold on.
All I know about literally the only thing I remember from that guy is him fucking taking the safety on quote unquote accident. I don't believe it.
QB record. He only started 3 games in 2010. The hell? Maybe he wasn't on the 0-16 team. I thought he was.
Yeah.
His seasons go as follows: 2-8, 1-2, 10-6, 4-12, 7-9, 11-5, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7, 6-10, 3-4-1, 5-11, 12-5, 3-6, 9-6, 10-6, 8-2 this year.
Damn. It's crazy to think because he is a good quarterback. But
I think he's first ballot.
His record shows he's mediocre. I agree.
He's I think he's top.
I think we talked about it last week as well.
Like if you're talking about just talent, like say that like
he's
all
got
of the
a pretty
lore,
spin on that ball too.
Like all of the lore of QBs, like you wipe away every Super Bowl, every like win, loss, whatever. You just have like this is the build out of the quarterback. I think Matt Stafford would be a top 5 drafted QB with his arm strength, with his vision, you know, his height, his physicality. Like dislocated his shoulder. That one player broke his ribs or whatever, and then went out and threw a touchdown. Like I think you put all of those traits together. I think you would draft him like top 5 quarterback. Like just looking at him as a QB and taking away everything else. Anyhow.
It's great. We're going to skip over the next game as well real quick because I think we'll have a few words to say about that. Cowboys beat the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Luckily, I did not partake in watching this. I knew it was going to be a shit show. Dak Prescott looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league when you played one of the worst teams in the league. Pete Carroll needs to retire again. I'm not sure what this team was thinking. Gino's not good. Pete Carroll's not a good coach. Just get him out of town. Actually, you know what? On second thought, keep them there because I enjoy watching the Raiders suffer like they are.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, I just think that the Raiders are in a rebuilding mode right now, especially.
Yeah, they built a nice stadium to not win games in.
How they need a QB, dude? They have no QB. So we'll see what happens with the Raiders. I mean, the Cowboys were expected to win this game. They won the game. So, like, I'm sure we can all just have a round of applause for them doing that for maybe the first time in their entire existence, just winning a game they were supposed to win. Good job, Cowboys. But, I mean, listen, outside of your fan base, nobody really gives a shit that you won this game. Moving on. Don't want to talk about them anymore.
Next game, we kind of alluded to this one. It's the Eagles winning against the Lions, 16-9, boring ass football game.
Another primetime stinker. I did mean to bring this up in the beginning. Lions, Eagles, Cowboys, Raiders,
Patriots, Jets.
Patriots, Jets wasn't
Commanders,
terrible to
Dolphins,
watch until the end, but Commanders, just all-time stinker fucking primetime games. Like, once again, NFL, we need to figure something out. Yeah, I mean, the Lions Eagles, not very predictable, but the Cowboys Raiders obviously was never going to be a good game. That could have been Rams Seahawks. That could have been Chiefs Broncos. That could have been that Bills Buccaneers game if you wanted it to be. It could have been any of those games, and you let Jerry Jones have the primetime game.
Yeah, I mean, and this is Sunday night, so I mean, this was expected, I'm sure, to be good. I think maybe people thought that the Raiders were actually going to be good, which is hilarious. But this game sucks. I didn't watch it at all. It's very clear I was not. I was not in the football mood. I'll talk about that in a second. Obviously, Jared Goff, and team looks better. Here's my thoughts on this game, though, based off of what I know happened in this. Dan Campbell has to absolutely stop calling the plays. You got to make better decisions. I get it. It worked for you in the past. You have 2 of the top running backs in the league that didn't do shit. Jahmyr Gibbs looked great receiving, did not look good on the actual ground. And Dan Campbell just making these boneheaded decisions to just go for shit. You kick the goddamn field goals. Like you have to like play smarter football. I think he's a better coach than that. And this team has not shown it. They went from the best team in the league last year, which I guess you could say the same about the Chiefs as far as the respective conference. They go from the best to now a mediocre, sitting second or third in their division. They're 6-4. They make the Eagles look good again. Eagles are now 8-2, and I think they're the biggest frauds on planet Earth. Jalen Hurts, 135 yards. Saquon, their best player by far, doesn't reach 100 yards. And AJ Brown, I guess we can clap for him. He finally gets some receptions, but doesn't do shit with them. 49 yards, no touchdowns. I'm done with this. I think the Eagles are a fraud, and I think the Rams best them this year if that's the matchup we're about to watch.
Yeah, so where do I start with this one? I don't really care about the quality of the teams in this case. I think that it's just a well-established fact at this point that the Eagles are one of the top 5 most boring teams to watch in the NFL. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care if they're playing the Lions, the Raiders, the Titans. They are just boring to watch unless you're an Eagles fan. Get them out of prime time. Nobody gives a fuck. We understand that they're going to win a lot of games. Whatever. They have their damn false start every play, tush push bullshit. They're going to get every 4th and 1. They're going to get every goal line situation is going to be a touchdown. Whatever. We get it. They're going to win 12 games. I don't fucking care. They're so boring. They play the slowest games imaginable. Just get them out of prime time. We got to do something about it. Once again,
it's bad football.
I hate the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. They had the ball for 36 minutes basically, and it was the most treacherous 36 minutes of all time. And I mean, we're talking about a total of 6 points scored in the second half of a game. 1 field goal per side. That's what we're putting on Sunday night primetime football. This is supposed to be your marquee game of the week. This is your primetime of the primetime slots. And you know that the Eagles are gonna fucking play this slow dog shit game, and nobody wants to watch it. Get it off of television.
Yeah, that's exactly kind of how I felt. Not only was I not in a football mood, yeah, they're a boring team to watch, and they were the same way. It's just, somehow you get to go against a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense in the Super Bowl, and you absolutely demolish that fucking team. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But it's a boring football team, and I don't think they're good. I think their play calling is bad. I'm happy Saquon got his revenge last year of he's on a new team. He gets behind a really good offensive line and goes. And part of me goes, defensive games are cool because defenses just aren't talked about as much anymore. But this shit's fucking boring, and football's all about entertaining. That's why, the quarterbacks get all the rules sorted towards them. That's why the tush push currently is allowed in the game, because it means the Eagles can try to score more points, right? There's so many things writing to make the offenses better, because at the end of the day, as much as you love to see the defenses praised and look good and things of that nature, it's boring fucking football. And it needs to change. You can't have this shit on primetime. This kind of score, it's a 1:00 game, or as we've mentioned in the past, jokingly and kind of, at least for me, serious, this is a Weather Channel 3 a.m. kind of game. It's boring football. I don't want to watch it, and I'm happy I didn't watch it. I did see a few plays from Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, that dude is fucking lights out. God damn, whoever, the Lions better do everything they can to keep this guy, because he's the truth. I think JT looks really good this year. Saquon had a great year last year. We've seen some great running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs is the next one up. As long as they can keep that man healthy and lock his ass down, I think he's next man up.
Yeah, I mean, kind of same opinion. I'm a big Jahmyr Gibbs fan. I think I'm a big Amon-Ra fan. I love Jared Goff's resurgence in Detroit. I hope the best for the team. I hope the worst for the team. Everybody knows that if you're outside of Philadelphia or outside of their fandom, they're just the worst. You wish bad things upon them all. You don't want to hear them speak. They're all uneducated. It's terrible. They win football games, so I guess good for them, but just get it. Please get it out of prime time. I just want to watch good games in prime time. I'm not even begging for the Bengals to play in prime time because I don't think that they would play well either, unless it's like a fully healthy Bengals team with like Joe Burrow and everybody, whatever. Like then I'd be like, all right, well, let's see them in prime time. Like if we revamped our defense or something, like whatever. But I'm not even asking for that. I'm just asking, get the Eagles out of prime time. Get the Cowboys out of prime time.
You want to go first? You want me to go first? How you want to do this?
I mean, I'll go first because this isn't going to be a long thing for me. Like the Bengals take the L against the Steelers. While I am sad that we lose to Pittsburgh, I'm happy that we lost the game. We need the draft capital. This is exactly was in my bag of like optimal things to happen. We talked about it last week. Is like my biggest fear was them winning games, like winning division games down the stretch. Now that the dominoes started to fall and Jamar Chase did the right thing and spit on Jalen Ramsey, so he's out for the next game. So that's probably you can chalk up another L. A lot of people are talking about that as a dickhead move, but Jalen Ramsey's a fuckhead, and he deserves to be spit on. So I don't care at all. I'll take. I think that they should. I think the team should suck it up and still pay Jamar Chase his fucking game check. Because who gives a fuck? We're not going to beat the Patriots anyway. Like, what are we talking about right now? He's saving himself from getting injured for a game. Giving the rooks some time to shine. You know what I mean? I mean, I say the rooks, but like whatever. Giving whoever's next on the depth chart some time to shine, whether it's Joseph Osh, Tinsley, whomever. Yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot to say about this. Dickhead Tobin needs to be removed from the front office. Zach Taylor still needs to be fired. They're both just horrible. This all adds towards that pressure building up. Now, if Mike Brown even feels pressure at all, like who knows? Because he is just made a life out of fucking being terrible. Listen, I know that we briefly, I talked about this before, but I just want to reiterate that since 2021, of the players who the Bengals have drafted who are playing, let's just go into this real quick. We're going to exclude Jamar Chase. We know that he's the real thing. Joseph Asai, his Pro Football Focus grade 60.2, 57th out of 80 for edge rushers. Cam Sample, defensive lineman, grade 48.1, not eligible for ranking. Evan McPherson's a kicker, so I mean you can't really judge him too much. Dax Hill, cornerback, 2025 grade is 57.2, which is 62 out of 97 cornerbacks in the league. Cam Taylor Britt, 57.6. He's 60 out of 97. So, that's always great. Miles Murphy, who's an edge rusher, 58.3. He is 63rd out of 80 edge rushers. Jordan Battle, who's a safety, who plays free safety, his grade 63.2, which is 45th out of 82 safeties. We have several players who only play special teams who we've drafted. Andre Yosefosh, his grade 50.6. He's 109 out of 113 wide receivers. Amarius Mims, offensive tackle, Georgia, grade 55.4. He is 63rd out of 70 of 70 offensive tackles in the league. Chris Jenkins, who's a D lineman, his grade is 52.8, which is 74th of 89 defensive tackles. And then that's all pre-2025. If we just look at our 2025 draft class, Shamar Stewart, his grade 36.7, he's 135th out of 135 edge rushers in the league. Or I'm sorry, 134th out of 135 edge rushers in the league. Demetrius Knight Jr., 36.6, he is 97th out of 100 linebackers. Ranked Dylan Fairchild, who's a guard, is 59th out of 93 guards in the league. Barrett Carter, who's a linebacker, 33.1. He is the dead last ranked linebacker in the NFL. Jalen Rivers, who is an offensive guard, he is 30.6. He is 92, ranked 92nd out of 93 offensive guards in the league. Taj Brooks is a running back who gets like 3 snaps a year this year, who's a rookie, so can't really grade him too much. But I just like to reiterate that if that doesn't show you incompetence in the front office and their ability to scout and draft talent, I don't really know what it is. We don't have anybody outside of Jamar Chase, who was a sure thing in the top half of the league at their position. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. It is interesting. I figured this would be your sentiment. Damn, it sucks that we lose a divisional game, but also thank God and hopes for a better and brighter future, especially for the weapons that are there that are good. Quick question before we move on for you though, because I have no sentiment about this game. This game knocks out Aaron Rodgers, which essentially puts the Ravens right where they want to be in the possibility of winning this division, as predicted by lots of sports books out there, even when Lamar was injured for multiple games. Would you like this is one of those like, can I just fucking not choose? Can I just die instead or something? Would you rather see Pittsburgh win this division or the Ravens win this division? Because it seems like you guys are going to be the reason the Ravens probably are going to win this division by knocking out Aaron Rodgers for possibly his career. I don't know how extensive this wrist injury is.
I'd rather the Ravens win.
Okay, same. Just me personally, but yeah.
I don't have anything against Lamar Jackson independently as a person, besides the fact that he's a Baltimore Raven, so I don't like that.
Phenomenal to watch, though. Love watching him play when he's doing
I like Derrick Henry, so I can't really be mad at that.
Yeah.
I think they have good players. They draft well, whatever. They're insufferable, but listen, I don't think it can be overstated. And I think that this is like a consensus thing, is that any professional sports team that is based in Pennsylvania has the most unbearable fans of all time. And whether it is Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, I will put them at the bottom of my list of teams in any sport for all time.
Yep, I agree.
That's just as simple as it is. I fucking hate the only mildly redeemable team in the state of Pennsylvania is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Because everybody loves Paul Skeens, but other than that, and it's just other than that, like the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, the Penguins. The Steelers. Yeah. They can all just go straight to hell. I just hate them all. And they're the worst people in the world.
Agreed.
And that's all I really say about that.
Before I get started on my game, I want to say a couple things. So before my game even happened, I saw this tweet, and it says, wow, the Chiefs are somehow favored to win over the Broncos this Sunday on Polymarket, which I assume that's a betting site. Every betting site had the Chiefs at I think a 3.5 point favorite. And it says Denver is 8-2 and Bo Nix looks like an MVP candidate. So, I go into this game laughing my ass off. Like, Bo Nix does not look like an MVP candidate. I think this team is incredibly lucky. They are the Chiefs of this year, winning multiple one-score games where the Chiefs have lost every one-score game. And then I also want to read this before I get into any of my stuff. The Chiefs are 9th in points per game and 4th in points per game allowed, but they are currently sitting at 5-5. The average margin of victory is 19 points. Average margin of defeat is 4.4 points. This one, probably similar to you. Obviously, a slightly different situation. Our star player is not injured for the entire, presumably most of the year. He's there playing his little fucking heart out, albeit he's making some boneheaded decisions. But it sucks to lose, and then it sucks even more to lose to a divisional opponent and even more this team right now because they are so fucking cocky. They think they're so fucking good, and I still think they're fucking frauds. Even though Bo Nix still put up 300 yards on us, but he doesn't even throw a touchdown. Like, there's no rushing. Their top rusher doesn't have a rushing touchdown. Their second guy gets a little touchdown, but I don't know what to say about my fucking team right now, and I really don't. And right now we are on the outside looking in, and we're another loss away, which we have the Colts coming up this weekend. We're a loss away from not even being on the outside looking in. We're just on the outside. With those stats in mind, I think we still have a top 5 defense. We might be top 10 at this point because we can't sack, we can't intercept, we can't get fumbles. But I still think a top 10 defense with what should be a high-powered, high-caliber, high-flying offense. And to be at 5-5, I am dumbfounded. I know the Broncos have the best defense in the league right now. I think between them and a couple of these other teams, they're all kind of fighting for I'm first, you're first. Broncos have a really good defense, but we have Patrick Mahomes.
Is Patrick Surtain still out?
He was out in that game as well. Yep.
Okay.
He did not play. But they still look really good. It is mile high. It is a difference. But the problem is we're in a unique situation this year where we're down. So like if we were, undefeated going into this game and then the Broncos beat us, it's a mile high. It's a divisional game. It's always scrappy. So be it. We got beat in the game, whatever. It doesn't matter. The problem is we went into this game 5-4. We needed to win this game, not only for the divisional, but at the end of the day, we're going to be fighting for that last playoff spot. It seems like at this point in time, Jaguars have the tiebreaker on us. Chargers have the tiebreaker on us. The Bills have the tiebreaker on us, who are also, a wild card team. Every team that we're going to need to fight out of this playoffs has the tiebreaker on us. Ravens are going to probably win the division. So that tiebreaker doesn't mean shit to us. They're going to just be in. We're at this point in our time. We're fighting for wild card. All of those teams have the tiebreaker win over us. The only team, no, because the Colts are ahead of their division, right? So it's grim. I've never felt like this. I've watched bad football from the Chiefs. We've had really bad teams. And, I consider myself lucky that we got everything in place, including Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. We got everything in place, and we're now, this generation or this, fucking century or not century, this decade's, Patriots, right? But I've suffered, but I never felt like, well, it is what it is. Glad Jamal Charles had a great game. That was cool to see. Motherfuckers just set the fantasy football record. Priest Holmes, what a fucking dog. Absolutely love watching this guy play. Glad he played well. Too bad we don't have a quarterback or a good coach that knows what the fuck they're doing. I legitimately felt sick. I've never felt sick in my life. I legitimately felt sick Sunday after watching this game because I don't know what to think about this team anymore. A couple things kind of to put out there. I saw this kind of tweet, and I don't think I'm to this point yet, but I'm fucking close. This is how it ended in Philly, and it might be time for Andy Reid. And just to quickly explain that, Kareem Hunt is averaging 4.5 yards per carry. If you go into every game not running the football, and that defense, a very good defense at that. The Broncos, I will give them credit where credit is due. They have an excellent defense. If that defense knows what you're doing every fucking play, you're not going to score points, especially if they're good. Now, if it's the Raiders and we go play the Raiders and they know what we're doing, we're going to score points because the Raiders suck. This is not a team defensively that sucks. Mm-hmm. Andy Reid has this thing where he doesn't want to run. We have 2 other running backs behind Kareem Hunt if he needs his breaks. We're not using Brashard Smith at all. He has a 16% snap count on the year. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I Hollywood should not be starting. Should be Worthy and Tyquan fucking Thornton with Rice. Those should be our top 3 receivers. We haven't used Tyquan Thornton since those 2 got back. Who was our best playmaker on Sunday? Tyquan fucking Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
The only highlight of that game offensively for us was Tyquan Thornton. Mm-hmm. If Reed is calling the plays, I really don't want this, but maybe it's worth a shot. Maybe it's time to give Matt Nagy the reins back. I don't know what it is. We're not calling well. We're not managing this game well. Spags and them have lost a bit of a step on defense. Again, I'm not trying to put us up in the top 5 ranking anymore. We've got some work to do. Our bye is done. This was our game after the bye, and we have a very tough schedule coming up. Some games that we should win and some games we're probably going to lose. And realistically, in my opinion, I think we need to win 6 of the next 7 to have a shot at making the playoffs. So we essentially need to damn near win out, right? I don't know what else to do for this team. I think running the ball is a big factor. I think the proper depth chart is a big factor. And I think getting Mahomes to stop getting fucking hit so many fucking times a game is another big factor because, as you stated earlier, this is a long season. And we're starting to see some of these teams start to feel the pain of like, holy shit, we've been playing football already for 10 fucking weeks, 11 weeks, 12 weeks, 11 weeks, right? We have a lot more fucking football to go. Plus, we are a perennial playoff team. We expect to be there. I think I feel sick because I haven't seen us in the Mahomes era, obviously, in the last 9 years. And even before that, we had Alex Smith with a solid fucking 12-5 year. I haven't seen us miss playoffs in over a decade. And then on top of that, I also, in 9 of those years, I haven't seen us miss AFC Championship. And I know it's first world problems, like, oh, boo-hoo, fuck Patrick Mahomes to some people out there. Because he's, that Tom Brady of this decade again. But as a Chiefs fan, it is fucking sickening. And we lose to the Colts next week. I think we are out. And there's a good chance my Thanksgiving's ruined by a possible almost mathematical elimination from the playoffs by not Thanksgiving, that's next week. Christmas certainly could be very bad for me. Play the Cowboys, and there's a chance even before walking into the game, we're already eliminated from playoffs. So it's a dud game. It's scary. I don't like it. I don't know much more to say than this, and they've got to sort it out. One thought I do have is I think our saving grace, we need Eric Bieniemy back or somebody like him. He brought discipline to that team. He brought fear to some of those players, and he fought back when needed to fight back. I don't think Matt Nagy's in a position to fight back against arguably the greatest coach to ever coach football. Top 5 for sure in the history of the NFL. So and I don't know if you disagree. I feel like you've given Reed his praise on that one.
No, I think he's definitely top 10, probably top 5.
Yeah, I can agree with that. He's turned it around. He gave hope to a city that lost it 50 years ago. But maybe it's old age. We saw Pete Carroll do some good things in the NFL, and look at him. He's 105 years old, and he's running one of the worst teams in the league. So, and he was doing the same thing in Seattle before he was booted out of there. So I like Reed. I still think there's a genius to him still there. I just don't know if he's pulling it out anymore. Travis Kelce looked great. Travis Kelce is 36-year-old fucking tight end who everybody said was on a decline, is top 5 in almost every single stat out there right now. At least as far as tight ends. He's number 3 in fantasy. I think he's 2nd in catches, might be 1st in yards, 1st to 3rd in touchdowns. He's playing well. Mahomes is playing well. He made a boneheaded 3 boneheaded throws because 2 boneheaded throws because he threw interceptions. Those were totally on him. But I get it too. He's just trying to make the play. And it used to work back when we had Tyreek Hill. He could throw 15 interceptions a year, and then he'd throw 50 touchdowns to make you forget about those interceptions. That's the offense I also expected this year, and it hasn't come, and I don't know why, other than we got to get back to basics. Like when we had no receivers, run that fucking ball. You have Kareem Hunt, who is so excited to be there. Run that fucking ball. And honestly, he should be the starter, unless we can get Brashard Smith going. He should be the starter, even when Pacheco comes back, because Pacheco hasn't played like himself, and he got hurt again. So if you think Pacheco is the future cheap running back of your franchise, let him fucking just chill for the rest of the year. Kareem Hunt is playing like he did I don't want to say his rookie year, because that dude was fucking beast, his rookie and second and third year. But yeah, I don't have much more to say about this. Again, I contemplated texting you and saying we're not doing this podcast this week, because I've been sick about football. So didn't watch Sunday night, didn't watch Monday night. I turned on Pat McAfee Monday during the day, and turned it right back off. I was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. It's sickening.
There's nothing good about watching football, like coverage when your team loses, because that's all they're going to. It's almost like they never talk about, well, at least, I mean, maybe because the Chiefs have been relevant Super Bowl wise, but like for the Bengals, like when the good years that they've had, they get no press, right? When they win games, but when they lose games, it's always on. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I can't, if they lost like any time in the last like 5 or so years, pretty much since Burrow's been there, if they lose, it's always like, we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about the fact that they lost. But if they win, it's like, we might mention it, but
yeah,
it's not going to be a big thing. Listen, I mean, the Chiefs as it stands right now are, a game out of the playoff picture. They have a 51% chance currently to make the playoffs, which is greater than the Texans, which is good. I mean, I think the Chiefs are fine right now. When I say fine, I mean, like, I don't think that they should worry about missing the playoffs right now. I mean, you have Colts, but Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. So you should probably win 4 out of your last 7 games at least.
But you think in this AFC, Chiefs can make it with 9 wins on the season? I don't see that being possible, Which is why I think this week was important.
I think
next week is the most important game.
So I think that can happen. Now it is problematic with all the tiebreaker nonsense, and it depends on what's going on. So I think that we, like 3 weeks from now, it will have a better idea.
Yeah, my thoughts is
they could get into a situation where they need to beat the Titans, Broncos, Raiders to get in. But like, if you just look at it, you still have 3 division games left, right? So you have a chance to improve your division record. The Chargers do not look good right now, and they, once again, like, they have, Joe Alt is injured. They have another starting guard who's injured.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you saw what happened to him this week, so that's on the decline. The Texans aren't really a good team, to be honest, right now. The Jags aren't really a good team. The Steelers are going to drop dramatically if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. The Ravens are going to rise, but outside of the Ravens, dude, the other people who you're competing with, like out of the Chargers, Jaguars, Texans, Chiefs, Ravens, and then like that's like the bubble teams basically right now. That's 6 through 10 seeded right now. After the Ravens, like, you have the Dolphins, right? They're 4-7. Then you have the Bengals at 3-7, Raiders at 2-8. So there's like, it's like you're really just jockeying for position with it's really the Chiefs, the Jags, the Texans, the Chargers, and the Ravens. So it's like 5 teams. You just have to be like, you have to be a top 2 out of 5 teams. So you just have to beat 3 of these teams, right? So going into the end of the year, can you outplay the Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Texans? You're probably not going to be able to outplay the Ravens just because they're probably going to end up winning their division, right? So then it comes to the Steelers, and it just depends on what they do. But like, are you going to be better than basically the Steelers, Chargers, Jags, Texans? I would say yes. I would say that the Chiefs will probably be better than the Texans, Jags, and Steelers, to be sure, and probably the Chargers unless they get like really healthy really soon. So I don't really think there's a lot to worry about for Chiefs fans as far as making playoffs. Now, once you get there, you got to have something figured out because your offense is not playing well.
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up. A couple of quick last minute things, just based off what you said there. If we limp our way into the playoffs, that's great, but call it fucking super greedy. Again, I haven't seen in the Mahomes era a game not in the AFC Championship. Now, if we get in really, really good football and we're playing well, and we still lose to some of these top performers like the Bills, in the playoffs, they could be great. The Patriots look phenomenal right now. The Ravens are on that incline right now. Those things could happen. The Ravens might finally get, it took a couple times and the Bengals, beat us and advanced to where they needed to go. And it's very highly possible that the Ravens finally get their playoff win against us, or the Bills finally get their playoff win against us.
So here's the thing is I think the thing you have going for you right now is I think that my personal opinion, my prediction is that the Chiefs will get in as the 6th seed. So I think that you'll be the 6th seed in the playoffs. You're going to play whoever the 3 seed is. I think that it matters a lot whether it's the Colts or the Patriots. I think that you have a much better chance of beating the Patriots than the Colts. However, I think that you are probable to win either of those games, to be honest, because the Colts have like 0 playoff experience, as do the Patriots. And assuming this is just, I would assume if you've made it that far, then the Chiefs have probably figured their offense out at that point. And I'd be really worried if I was everybody else, right? Because the Bills are going to end up playing the Ravens. It's going to be Bills-Ravens pretty much, almost certainly, unless somehow the Patriots collapse and the Bills win the division. I don't know what their schedules look like right now.
I just want to watch. When you're watching your team, you want to watch good football, and I want to see the offense that we expected. And again, if we get there, I'm with you. Team should be fucking worried. We can't go in with the product that we're going in with now. It's just not feasible football. It's not fun to watch. I watched that for many years, right? I watched us limp into the playoffs, and then we're a one and done team. We're the Cowboys of the 2000s, basically, and it was awful to watch. I fucking hated it. And this was
at the end of the day, I think that right now, if you're a Chiefs fan, you need to be obviously watching every game and kind of hanging on what's happening. But I also think that like long term, you should be thinking about, do we want to go to, you need to pay attention to the Patriots, the Colts, and the Bills. Like, it's like, where do we want to, because you're going to have to travel that first game, or you're going to travel whole playoffs, but that first game especially, it's going to be like, where do we want to go to play this game? Like, it's very important that you kind of like track that. Like, I think the place that you want to go the least is Indianapolis. I don't think the weather's not going to bother. Like, you won in Buffalo plenty. So New England and Buffalo, it's negligible. I think that you I think that you don't mind going to either of those places. I think that Indianapolis would just be such kind of like a foreign territory. I think at this point, you just kind of want to, that's the only situation you'd want to avoid.
Yeah. And we don't do well when we play Indy in the playoffs. I mean, Andrew Luck, fucking tore us apart and made us look bad. But my thing is to just kind of cap this off, the reason why the Colts, because realistically, you got Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos for the second time, but this time it's at home. And then the Raiders, who are just an abysmal team. If I had to like, hey, you got to put money on this, right? I say we win those 6 games, and that is the 6 out of 7 that we need to win. The problem is for the real meaningful football and to actually look like the team we're supposed to look like, I think we need to beat the Colts bad. And not saying bad like we need to beat them bad, because they're obviously a great fucking team. So that could be a 1-score game. But we have to get back to the Chiefs branded football, especially on that offensive side. And beating the Colts, I think, sends you in the confidence to get most of those games. I don't want to lose to the Broncos again. I don't want to lose to the Cowboys because it's on fucking Thursday. If not Stephon Diggs, if CJ Stroud is back at the Texans and that team's starting to cook in December, I'd take the loss there. That would be the one game we don't win. I would take that because why not? Fuck it. The other games are on either fucking important days or whatever. But if we beat the Colts, I think it sends this team into a confidence loop, gets them back to where they need to go. That kind of shows you they figured it out too. That's Colts, they don't have a shabby defense either. Like their defense is pretty fucking good. And then their running game is stellar. So if we can find a way to stop that and stop Daniel Jones, because to me, Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts are about the same fucking quarterback. If we can find a way to stop them, it almost gets us over that Eagles hump and then gets us into the rest of the season and play the good football that we typically play in December. So it's rough. We'll see what happens. They got to do better though. But you want to get into this week's picks?
Yeah, that's the only part that I can look forward to at this point is sports betting in this week's picks.
Yeah, I don't think there's any news to really talk about.
Jamar Chase suspended one game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey.
Jamar Chase, yeah, we kind of talked about that. Aaron Rodgers out for an extended period of time, I would think, with a wrist injury. Congrats to Mason Rudolph, just somehow constantly getting the starting job for a historic franchise. Michael Penix out. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Thursday night football could be a good one. Let's fingers fucking cross it's actually good. It's the Bills at the Texans. Bills are favored by 5.5. Over under is 43.5. Again, don't know what CJ Stroud's status is. I would think regardless, Bills are kind of starting to figure things out on that team. I think they win this game, and I will take the over on that. So that's 43.5, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking the Bills.
Stroud is out, by the way.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bill. I don't think you cannot take the over. I was thinking of a way I could take the under, but I can't. Bills and over for sure.
And then what really sucks is the first 1:00 game on the schedule is the Colts at the Chiefs. Once again, I don't know. Another quick theory. The NFL is still scripted. And the NFL said, we're going to show you how good this boy Patrick Mahomes is. We're going to make him look really like he's going to look good, but the team's going to play really fucking bad and somehow lose these games. And then we're going to send them into fucking outer space. And you guys will be like, God damn it, I knew it. They're back again. Because they have us as favorites again. And I think the sports books know more than we do and know that the Chiefs could actually potentially win this fucking game. Over under is 49.5. I think it goes over. I'm obviously taking my boys because it is a pivotal moment in our entire 2025-2026 season.
I would also take the over, and I'm just going to take the Colts.
Fair enough.
There's not a lot to say there. I just think that they've been one of the best 5 teams in the league all season.
Yeah, they look good. That's why, again, we need that confidence boost.
For sure.
Next game is yours. Patriots at Bengals. Patriots favored by 7.5. Over under is 49.5. I think this game hits under, and I'm taking the Patriots. No Jamar Chase, no Joe Burrow. Half the team's depleted. Terrible defense.
Yeah, I think it's over, and I think it's over to the tune of like the Patriots, like 42-10.
Okay, that's fair.
But I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean,
Patriots.
you still do have T. Higgins, and then like you said, let some of these other guys shine. See what they can do. Next game is Steelers at Bears. Bears are favored by 2.5. Over under is 44.5. I can see this going over, and I will take the Bears in this.
Bears under.
Okay.
Fuck the Steelers.
Yep, I agree. Jets at Ravens. Ravens favored by 13.5. Over under is 44.5. I think this goes over in way of the Ravens. I think Tyrod has a mediocre to terrible game. Taking the Ravens.
I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take the Jets here. Need them to win some games so we can get a better draft pick in Cincinnati. So
Fair. Seahawks at Titans. Seahawks are favored by 13.5. Over under is 40.5. I could see this actually going under, but still take the Seahawks.
I'm going to say it's going over. I feel like the Titans offense is trending upwards, so I think it'll hit the over. It's not going to stop the Seattle from fucking absolutely curb stomping them though. Seattle might put up 50 on the back of that Sam Darnold terrible game.
There you go. Bounce back game. Yeah. Next game, Giants at Lions. Lions favored by 10.5. Over under is 49.5. I think Lions are just going to fucking steamroll this team and get back to where they are. Hopefully Dan Campbell figures his shit out. Take the Lions and the over.
Yeah, I just am a big Lions sympathizer, so I will also take the Lions. And I mean, I can't imagine they don't bounce back in a big way. I'll take the over as well.
Yep. Next game, Vikings at Pack. Packers are favored by 6.5. Over under is 41.5. Boy, the way these teams have been playing lately, I'm taking the under, but I will take the Packers to squeak this one out. Another like 22-19 game, which I guess does put me over, but fuck it. I'm sticking with the under.
I'm going to take the over, but I am also taking the Packers.
Okay. Next game is the start of our 4:00 games, and this is the problem we have, NFL. I mean, this should have been known going into the season regardless. We have the Browns at the Raiders at 4:06. Raiders are favored by 3.5. Over under is 36.5. I don't think either one of these teams score more than 10 points apiece. I'm taking the under, and I'm taking the fucking Browns to just continue burying the Raiders team. Shredder Sanders, do your thing, big dog.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it all year. I don't see how the Browns with this defense aren't winning more games, so I'm taking the Browns. I think this is a great opportunity for them to win a game. Also, I mean, I got to take the under. I don't see how. I mean, the Browns have such an elite defense. I don't see how the struggling Raiders put up points in this game.
This is one of the lowest ones I've seen all year, too, at 36.5. Yeah, I think, especially with Browns, and then Browns are struggling on offense, regardless of defense. So, yeah, under. Jags at Cardinals. Jags are favored by 2.5. Over under is 47.5. Based on what I've seen, I think the shit hits over. And I do think, fuck it. I'm taking the Cardinals. I need the Jags to start losing fucking football games here.
I'm going to take
Cardinals are going to get it.
I'm taking the Jags in the over.
Okay. Falcons at Saints. I'm lost. Saints are favored by 1.5. Over under is 39.5. I'm going to go under, and I think the Falcons win regardless who's that fucking quarterback against this dog shit team.
I'm going to take the Falcons. What's the line for this game? 39.5?
Yeah, 39.5.
How do they score that many points? Under.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. Eagles at Cowboys. Eagles favored by 3.5. Over unders 47.5. It's in Dallas. I think Cowboys maybe grow some confidence after beating a really bad fucking team somehow. Come out and do something. I'm gonna go. Man, I constantly bet the under. I'm gonna go over on this. Maybe there is some because the Eagles are fucking boring. I'm taking the under and I'm taking the Cowboys.
Taking the under and taking the Eagles. I don't think that the NFL will allow the Eagles to lose until the playoffs.
That's fair. Told you it's scripted. Sunday night game, Bucks at Rams. This should be a good one, I hope. Again, another primetime that should be good. Rams are favored by 6.5. Over under is 49.5. I think the only way either one of these teams really have a shot to beat the other team is by hitting the over. I think the Rams are just playing good football right now, even if it's kind of scrappy in some of these games. It was a divisional game last week. I'm taking the Rams. And the over. You
know me. I've been high on the Rams all season. I'm taking the Bucks in the over.
I thought about it. And then you might as well turn off the TV for Monday night because this is finally where the NFL says, gotcha. It is the Panthers at 49ers. 49ers favored by 7.
When they eyed this game up at the beginning, when they were doing the schedule at the beginning of the season, there's no way they thought this was going to be a good game.
No, because going into the season, this should be a blowout. 49ers should
This could be a good
this.
game, though.
It's true. Could be. I don't think it's going to be, but it could be. 49ers, fuck it, over. Tale of 2 running backs. Best run game wins this game.
I'm taking the over, and I'm taking the Panthers.
Of course you are. Figured that one. All right.
Hey, Kyle Shanahan, have a couple of these long boys. Kyle.
That's going to do it. I know the show's going to look a little weird, a little different in some weird way.
Get over it.
We made it.
Guys.
Goodbye. We will see you next week. Good luck to all your teams out there, unless you're the fucking Denver Broncos. I'm out. Goodbye.
Bye.